Good morning, everybody. It's good to be together again on this midweek Wednesday, the 19th of January, and we're moving on. I don't usually change venues for my filming, but I've moved from my office to the library here on our United Church campus in Hermanus. And the reason for that is because I want to draw your attention to the fact that we do have a wonderful asset here in the form of our library, which is being worked at so hard by the ladies here in the church, and we're extremely grateful to them for all the hard work they put in. But of course, over the past 18 months, 2 years, the pandemic time, it has meant that people haven't been able to come or haven't come to our campus pretty much. And so I'm going to use this opportunity just to let you know that the library is open, that it works on a trust system. You simply come in, you fill in your details, the details of the book in the register, which is on a desk just over here on my left, on your right, and you fill that in and you're free to take the books and then of course to return them. But it is open, and I do want to encourage you to make use of this wonderful asset that we have right here at the United Church. But then in our devotions, we've got as far as verse 9 in our devotions as we're looking at Philippians chapter 1, verse by verse, and saying, what does God say to us out of this verse, out of these few words in that particular verse? And this morning, as I said, it's Philippians chapter 1 and verse 9, where Paul, having spoken about the deep affection that he has for this church and how he holds the people in his heart, he says this of them. He says, and this is my prayer. He goes on and he said, now, I pray for you. I don't just feel an affection to you. I don't just remember you with great joy. I pray for you. And this is my prayer, he says, that your love may abound more and more in knowledge and depth of insight. That your love may increase. Now in the previous verse he spoke of affection. He's not talking about affection here. He's using a different word. He's using that word agape, and he's talking about a deep love that he has. It's so tragic that we have managed to taint this word love in the modern day and the way that word is used. But he's not obviously talking about a romantic love. He is talking about a relational love. And he says, I pray this, that your love may increase. Your love for Jesus may increase. Your love for one another may increase. Your love for me may increase. I was explaining in one of our fellowship groups the other evening that love doesn't just mean feeling good about somebody. Love means making a commitment to doing all that you can to allow them to feel loved. And he says, this is my prayer for you, that your love for one another, for the Lord, may increase, that you will do all that you can to increase their sense of being loved by you, that your love may increase in knowledge and depth of insight. It's easy to say love is blind, but so often if we simply base our relationships on a blind love, it often then reverts to an emotional connection. He says it's not that. I'm praying that your love, your commitment to making the other person feel loved will increase in knowledge as you get to know them better. And not only get to know the good side, that'll be obvious, but get to know their flaws, their foibles, that you will get to know all that there is to know about them. Nevertheless, will continue to commit to loving them. That your love may increase in knowledge and in depth of insight. Understanding, depth of insight revolves around understanding why it is that they are as they are. Why is it that they react as they do? Especially if there are things that happen in their lives that you find yourself struggling to accept, but that you will get to know them well enough to have depth of insight into understanding them. And of course, if it's love for the Lord, that you will get to know more and more about Him and about His love for you. To really get to take the time and the effort to get to know what they are like. And so this morning, as you take time out, won't you take time to think about your relationships with other people? Do you have knowledge? Do you know lots about them? Do they know lots about you? Do you have a depth of insight in understanding why it is that they do respond as they do? Because that's the kind of thing that the apostle says he prays that the church in Philippi would have. And as I've prepared, I pray that you would have. And won't you take off time this morning to search your heart, your mind, as to whether you, in your relationships, you do have knowledge and depth of insight. And then to ask the Lord to help you to let your love for those people grow. I want you to do that this morning.